Hello and welcome back to Lord of Heroes on Nyris Gaming. We have our update today. Let us get into the new heroes' abilities with their level ups. We're going to start with our new paid hero, Fire Mikhail, Striker. We've seen what his base abilities do. Let's see what they do when they level. So his 1 attacks a selected enemy, increases his crit damage by 10%, stacking to 5 times, and increases his speed for 2 turns if he deals a crit. Based on leveling, this gets up to 25% per stack, so it caps out at 125 when fully stacked. I would imagine these vanish at the end of a wave, although this is the first one with stacking that does not specifically denote that, so we will have to playtest that at some point. This would be the first thing to stick around between waves if that's the case, but somehow I doubt that. The 2 cooldown of 4 turns, fills gauge by 156. Attacks a selected enemy, and additionally deals a random amount of damage between 25 to 100%. Gains an extra turn if he crits, and cannot gain more than 1 in a row. And the first level ups the minimum extra damage to 50%, and the last level ups the maximum random damage to 125%. Other than that, just damage up, pretty straightforward. Does not reduce the cooldown at all. However, given the extra turn, this is a pseudo 30-turn cooldown, given that we'll drop the cooldown by 1 immediately afterwards. His Burst attacks all enemies, deals up to 5 times additional damage depending on enemy's max health. This is damage until level 4, then it goes down 1 cost, and at level 6 goes down 1 cost. So he hits the floor of burst cost for the game of 2. So he can fire this off very frequently and string in with chain bursts very easily. This was not what I was expecting. I was expecting this to be another damage. This is lovely to see. And then the passives of crit damage and earth damage. The crit damage will cap at an extra 50% crit damage. Next up we have our summoned fire sniper, Fire Lin. Her 1 attacks a selected enemy, 80% chance to reduce their defense for 2 turns, and additionally increases the user's defense for 1 turn. And I called it, this does get to 100%, starting at level 4 with 10, and level 6 with 10. And then a little bit more burst gauge gain at level 3, which is good for a sniper. She'll produce even more with her sniper set. Her 2, 5-turn cooldown, 390 burst gauge, increases all allies' attack power for 2 turns, and grants all allies a leech buff for 1 turn. Immediately, first level up on this one, cooldown down by 1, down to 4. Then more burst gauge gain, then the effect duration plus 1. I would imagine this is for both. So it'll go up to 3 turns of attack power and 2 turns of leech. Usually these apply to everything that's related unless it specifies. Some will say like just the attack up will go up. This one does not, so hopefully it's both. Then more burst gauge gain, and then down cooldown another turn to 3. So with the attack power up for 3 turns, and this being a 3-turn cooldown, she can keep everyone attack boosted indefinitely, which is lovely. Her burst attacks selected enemies, steals all buffs from them, just gets more damage and spirit cost, what I expected Mikhail to be. But for her, this brings her down to a 2 spirit cost as well. They are very burst viable, and I love it. Her passive is speed, goes up to a cap of 15, and earth damage resistance. One last thing I want to note is over here at Alchemy, we have our birthday alchemy for Helga going on today, and I believe tomorrow is the last day. You get 10, 11 pulls in any combination of elements that you choose for that are available for the hero currently. Cost the normal amount, so you're guaranteed to get artifacts that have a skill up for that specific hero. But for Helga, she is the first one to have 2 different versions of her from 2 different points in time, and I can happily state that both Dragon Knight Helga and regular Helga are 2 separate banners, so you can do 10 times for Dragon Knight and 10 times for regular. Quite a fun discovery there. I just thought of one other thing that's not quite as good. So we have our subscription here now that allows you to progress through things a bit more quickly and less tediously. And you get these 10 alchemy tickets for 2 consecutive periods of subscription, so after the first month, getting the second month will get you these. I was gonna assume that if you did the 6 months straight up, you would get these immediately. No such luck. You do 6 months, you have to wait until 6 months later to even get these. A little scummy in my opinion. Not cool. Thinking about it also, let's do a battle real quick, just to show you how fast the speed goes for the subscription speed up. So you'll come in here, you'll have to turn on auto as well. It will not affect it if auto's not on, but the button right down here. This will also affect the animations for bursts, so makes it even faster in that regard. So set up auto, make things fast. It goes quite rapidly. Doing this with the up to 50 auto repeats now. Here's a burst that's going much faster. You can get through farming like beast hunts much quicker. A little sad that it's tied to a subscription. Honestly, I think it should be just in the game normally, but it is what it is for now. I don't know why I said one more thing in the past, because I'm coming up with a bunch more things to talk about. When you go to expeditions, I can't do it now because my expedition is not quite finished yet. The way to prioritize rewards when the expedition finishes is selecting it when you start. There's going to be a little quill button when you select your expedition before sending it out. You click on that and you can select the type of reward that you want to prioritize once it is finished. It was a little confusing at first. When you go into the Hall of Experience or Hall of Treasure, when you ready up on the normal formation preparation screen, instead of the auto repeat button, it's going to be an auto progress button, and it'll just take you through each of these until you either finish or run out of energy. That is going to do it for this Lord of Heroes update. I will be seeing you once November hits and we get our new Avalon times. Until then.